Bonjour et bienvenue. Have you ever wondered why French sometimes says le livre, sometimes la maison, sometimes l'école, and sometimes les étudiants? At first glance, these words may all seem to mean one simple English word, the. But in reality, they're much more powerful than that. French definite articles don't just identify a specific object. They also help you talk about things in general, express your likes and dislikes, describe the world around you, and even combine with other words to create completely new forms, such as au, do, and day. In fact, if you use the wrong article, native French speakers will still understand you, but your French will sound unnatural. The good news is that once you understand the logic behind these small words, choosing the correct article becomes much easier. In today's lesson, you'll learn how to choose between le, la, L', and lay, the correct pronunciation of each article, when French uses definite articles differently from English, how to use liaison to sound more natural, the essential contractions, au, do, and day, and the most common mistakes learners make, and how to avoid them. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to use French definite articles with confidence in everyday conversations. So, let's begin. Chapter 1. What are definite articles? Before learning the different forms, let's first understand what a definite article actually is. A definite article is used when we're talking about something specific, known, or already identified. Think about this sentence in English. The book is on the table. When you say the book, both you and the listener already know which book you're talking about. Now, compare it with this sentence. I need a book. Here, you're not talking about one particular book. Any book will do. That's why English uses a, not the. French works in a similar way. When you're talking about something specific, French uses one of 4 definite articles. Le, la, L', or lay. The article you choose depends on 3 things. Is the noun masculine or feminine? Is it singular or plural? And does it begin with a consonant, a vowel, or a silent H? Don't worry if that sounds like a lot. We'll take each rule step by step. By the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly which article to choose. Let's begin with the singular articles. Chapter 2, lay, la, and L'. French has 3 singular definite articles: lay, la, and L'. Each one has a specific job. Let's start with lay. Lay, masculine singular. Use lay before masculine singular nouns that begin with a consonant. Here are a few common examples. Le livre, the book. Le restaurant, the restaurant. Le téléphone, the telephone. Le jardin, the garden. Now let's use these nouns in complete sentences. Le livre est intéressant. The book is interesting. Le restaurant est ouvert. The restaurant is open. Le jardin est magnifique. The garden is beautiful. Now, let's talk about pronunciation. Many learners pronounce le, like li. That isn't correct. The correct pronunciation is le. It's a short, relaxed sound. Keep your lips slightly rounded and don't exaggerate the vowel. Listen carefully. Le, le, le. Now, repeat after me. Le lit, le téléphone. Le jardin, Excellent. La, feminine singular. Now let's move to feminine nouns. Use la before feminine singular nouns beginning with a consonant. Examples: la maison, the house; la voiture, the car; la table, the table; la fenêtre, the window. Let's place them into complete sentences. La maison est grande. The house is big. La voiture est rapide. The car is fast. La fenêtre est ouverte. The window is open. The pronunciation is much easier than le. Simply say la. Open your mouth naturally and produce a clear ah sound. Repeat after me. La maison. La voiture. La table. Perfect. An important learning habit. Here's one of the best tips I can give you as a French learner. Don't memorize nouns by themselves. Always learn them together with their article. Instead of memorizing livre, learn le livre. Instead of learning maison, learn la maison. This simple habit trains your brain to remember the noun and its gender as one complete unit. Over time, you'll stop guessing and start choosing the correct article automatically. It's a technique used by many successful language learners and professional teachers. L. The elision rule. Now, let's look at one of the most elegant features of French pronunciation. Imagine you want to say le ami. Listen carefully. It sounds awkward because two vowel sounds collide. French avoids this by removing the vowel from the article. This process is called elision. Instead of saying le ami, French says l'ami, the friend. The same thing happens with feminine nouns. Instead of la école, French says l'école, the school. Here are more examples. L'aéroport, the airport; l'hôtel, the hotel; l'université, the university. Even though hotel begins with the letter H, the H is silent, so the rule still applies. Here's the rule to remember. Whenever a singular noun begins with a vowel or a silent H, use L' instead of la or la. This makes French smoother, more natural, and easier to pronounce. Try saying these examples aloud. L'ami, l'école, l'hôtel. Notice how smoothly the words connect.
That's exactly why French uses elision. Chapter 3. Les, the plural definite article. Now that you've learned le, la, and L', let's look at the plural form. Unlike the singular articles, French only has one definite article for all plural nouns. Les. It doesn't matter whether the noun is masculine or feminine. If it's plural, you simply use les. Let's look at a few examples. Les livres, the books; les voitures, the cars; les étudiants, the students; les maisons, the houses. Simple, isn't it? Instead of remembering two different plural articles, you only need one. Les. Now, let's place these into complete sentences. Les livres sont intéressants. The books are interesting. Les voitures sont rapides. The cars are fast.
Les étudiants étudient le français. The students study French.
Les maisons sont anciennes. The houses are old. As you can see, les works exactly the same way, regardless of gender. The only thing that matters is that the noun is plural. Pronunciation: le versus les. Although these two words look almost identical, they are pronounced differently. This is one of the most common pronunciation mistakes made by French learners. Let's compare them. Le, pronounced le, a short, relaxed sound. Now compare it with lay, pronounced lay. The vowel changes completely. Let's practice together. Le livre, the book. Les livres, the books. Again. Le restaurant, the restaurant. Les restaurants, the restaurants. One more. Le chien, the dog. Les chiens, the dogs. Can you hear the difference? That small change tells the listener whether you're talking about one thing or several. Native speakers rely on this difference all the time. So don't rush your pronunciation. Practice these pairs until the distinction feels natural.
Chapter 4. Liaison with les. Now, let's learn one of the features that gives French its smooth, musical sound. It's called liaison. In French, some letters are usually silent. But when the following word begins with a vowel or a silent H, those silent letters suddenly come to life. One of the most common examples involves les. Normally, the S at the end of les is silent. But before a vowel, it is pronounced as a Z sound. Listen carefully. Les amis, pronounced les amis. The friends. Notice how the Z connects the two words. Let's try another example. Les étudiants, pronounced les étudiants. The students. One more. Les hôtels, pronounced les hôtels. The hotels. Without liaison, your French sounds separated and unnatural. With liaison, your speech flows smoothly from one word to the next. Remember this simple rule. If les is followed by a word beginning with a consonant, there is no liaison. For example, les livres, the books. The S remains silent. But if les is followed by a vowel or a silent H, use liaison. Les amis, les hôtels, les étudiants. This is a small detail, but it's one of the easiest ways to sound more like a native speaker. Chapter 5. When do we use definite articles? Now that you know the forms, let's answer an important question. When should you actually use a definite article? French uses definite articles in several situations. Let's look at the most common ones. 1. Talking about something specific. This is the easiest use. You're referring to one particular person, place, or thing. For example, le livre est sur la table. The book is on the table. Both the speaker and the listener know which book is being discussed. Another example. La voiture est devant la maison. The car is in front of the house. Again, we're talking about one specific car. Whenever the listener knows exactly what you're referring to, use a definite article. Talking about something unique. French also uses definite articles for things that are naturally unique. For example,
Le soleil brille aujourd'hui. The sun is shining today. There's only one sun. Another example. La lune est magnifique ce soir. The moon is beautiful tonight. Here are a few more examples. La terre tourne autour du soleil. The earth revolves around the sun. Le président prononcera un discours ce soir. The president will give a speech tonight. In context, both the speaker and listener know exactly who or what is being discussed. 3. Talking about an entire category. This is one of the biggest differences between French and English. In English, we often remove the article. For example, cats are intelligent. But French keeps the definite article. Les chats sont intelligents. Literally, the cats are intelligent. But the real meaning is simply, cats are intelligent. You're describing cats as an entire species. Let's look at more examples. Les chiens sont fidèles. Dogs are loyal. Les oiseaux peuvent voler. Birds can fly. Les langues sont fascinantes. Languages are fascinating. Whenever you make a general statement about a whole category, French usually uses the definite article. This is a rule you'll hear every day in conversations, books, podcasts, and news reports. So far, you've learned how to use definite articles with specific nouns, unique things, and entire categories. But there's another situation where French and English behave very differently. In the next chapter, you'll discover why French always keeps the definite article after verbs like aimer, adorer, préférer, and détester, even though English usually doesn't use them at all. Chapter 6. Choosing the correct article. Now that you know the 3 singular definite articles, let's learn how to choose the correct one quickly. When you see a new French noun, ask yourself 2 simple questions. Question 1. Is the noun masculine or feminine? Question 2. Does it begin with a consonant, a vowel, or a silent H? Once you know the answers, choosing the correct article becomes easy. Let's look at the decision process. If the noun is masculine and begins with a consonant, use le. For example, le livre, the book, le jardin, the garden. If the noun is feminine and begins with a consonant, use la. For example, la voiture, the car, la fenêtre, the window. If the noun begins with a vowel or a silent H, use L apostrophe, whether the noun is masculine or feminine. For example, l'école, the school, l'ami, the friend, l'hôtel, the hotel. This simple decision tree will help you avoid many beginner mistakes. Whenever you learn a new noun, don't memorize only the word. Always memorize the article together with Chapter 7. Real-life examples. Now let's see these articles in everyday conversations. Imagine you're at a cafe. You point to a menu and say, Le café est excellent. The coffee is excellent. Now imagine you're talking about your house. You say, La maison est grande. The house is big. Now you're meeting someone for the first time. You say, L'ami de Sophie est très gentil. Sophie's friend is very kind. Another example. You're talking about school. L'école est fermée aujourd'hui. The school is closed today. Notice that every noun has its article. Native French speakers almost never think about which article to use. They naturally remember the article together with the noun.
That's exactly the habit you should develop from the beginning. Chapter 8. Common mistakes. Let's look at some mistakes that many French learners make. Mistake number 1. Using the wrong article because of English.
For example, la livre. Correct, le livre. Remember, livre is masculine in French. Mistake number 2. Forgetting elision. Lo ami. Correct, l'ami. French dislikes two vowel sounds together. That's why le changes to L apostrophe. Mistake number 3. Using English pronunciation. Many learners pronounce la like li. That's incorrect. The correct pronunciation is la, a relaxed sound, not li. Mistake number 4. Learning nouns without articles. Instead of writing maison, write la maison. Instead of writing restaurant, write le restaurant. Doing this from the beginning makes speaking much easier later. Chapter 9, Mini Speaking Practice. Now, let's practice together. Repeat each phrase after me. Le livre. The book. La maison. The house. L'école. The school. Le jardin. The garden. La voiture. The car. L'hôtel. The hotel. Now let's build complete sentences. Le livre est intéressant. The book is interesting. La maison est grande. The house is big. L'école est ouverte. The school is open. Le restaurant est excellent. The restaurant is excellent. Reading these aloud several times will improve both your pronunciation and your confidence. Congratulations! You've just mastered the first 3 French definite articles. Le for masculine singular nouns, la for feminine singular nouns, and L apostrophe before singular nouns beginning with a vowel or a silent H. These 3 articles appear in thousands of French sentences every day. The more you practice them now, the more natural your French will become. In the next lesson, we'll learn the 4th definite article, les. You'll discover how French forms the plural, how liaison changes pronunciation, and why le and les sound completely different, even though they look almost the same. If you enjoyed this lesson, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new French lesson. And don't forget to share this video with your friends who are learning French. Let's improve our French together, one lesson at a time. Merci beaucoup d'avoir regardé. À bientôt!